Hello, this is Intuitive Anna Priscilla, and it's Monday, October 2nd. And this week I'm going to be sharing my golden tarot cards with you, so that's why I've called it Tarot Bling. Now, there's three beautiful golden decks that Lo Scarabeo has brought out, and the one we're going to be working with today is the Tarot de Nefertari. This is the back of the cards. You have the Eye of Horus, and this is the cover, and you can see beautiful golded gilding on these cards. So this is a deck I've had for a while. I haven't used too much, and it's a little bit different. I'll show you some of the cards. So you have scenes from Egyptian art on the cards. And then also some hieroglyphics. They're just gorgeous, and you can see if I move in the light that they've got this beautiful gold background to all the cards. So here we have the High Priestess. So that they're a little bit harder to interpret. They are based pretty much on the Rider-Waite deck that we used yesterday, and that's kind of the classic deck for a lot of these cards. So here we have Justice. There's a little black, well, it's a black book in this deck, a little black book that does explain the meanings. Some of the cards have Egyptian gods and goddesses on them. So if any of those come up in our reading today, we'll just look that up, those cards up in the book. For example, the Death card. Lo Scarabeo books are always in many languages, so the first part is always quite small, really. But you can see the Death card we have as represented by Anubi, Seth's son and god of death. So where there are gods, Egyptian gods, the little black book tells you about what the meaning of those are. So today's reading, I thought we'd do some political readings this week. Today's reading, we're going to ask the question, what would the Founding Fathers think of the state of American democracy at the moment? So this is a loaded question, but we are having a lot of social unrest, a lot of division, a lot of social and political problems here. Questions about the Constitution. So I thought these Egyptian cards would be a good fit for that. So first of all, I'm just going to clear the cards, clear the space with my crystal, since these cards haven't been used very much. Create a protective circle around our space, create a sacred space here. And since we're asking a question of the Founding Fathers, I'm going to address this reading to them. So there may be some channeling that takes place in this reading. We'll just see how it goes. I'm going to limit the reading to 7 cards, although I'm going to do kind of a more conversational approach to the reading. So let's just take a few deep breaths before we start. So let's breathe in. Find our quiet space. Breathe out. Just take a few deep breaths. No dramatic breathing. Just sit with your breath for a few minutes. All right, I'm going to shuffle these cards first. I'm going to do kind of a more conversational style of reading with this reading so that we get some deeper answers and understanding. So I'm asking my guides to help mediate this reading, to bring us clear, concise answers and some information from our Founding Fathers who wrote the Declaration and the Constitution and created the foundations for our democracy so many years ago. All right, so let's ask the first question. The first question I'm going to ask is, overall, what do our founding fathers feel about the state of our present state of our democracy here in America? And we got the Strength card. So here we have the Strength card. The Strength card speaks of internal strength, subduing aggression and animal-like behavior, and struggle and conflict by our internal strength, by standing up for our internal principles, not by force or violence, but upholding our own inner strength as a country. So this is an interesting answer. It's saying we don't need to have division, we don't need to have riots, we don't need to have violent attempts to enforce each side's position. We need to find our strength as a country, and that's what will keep our democracy safe. And to use our principles, the founding principles that were laid out originally. We have a very strong framework in our Constitution, in our inner principles, and we should rely on that. It's also a woman subduing the lion. So the lion can be our more aggressive, competitive, ferocious side, but we need to be a little bit more yin in a way in our approach. Aggression and fighting is not the answer. We need to use more our inner strength and use persuasion and diplomacy and finding our common areas. So women are archetypal mediators, basically. Okay, so that's an interesting answer. So the next question I wanted to ask of our founding fathers is, how did we get to this place where we have such a crisis going on? Well, we've been moving forward towards this for quite a while. Our journey started really when we founded the country, moving forward to the ideals that were set out in the Constitution. And we've been moving on this journey ever since, 200 and something years. And this is a perpetual journey, a journey that as a country we have to carry on taking. We're never going to reach the shore. So this started out as the initial journey. This could even be the initial colonists coming here from another country, coming from England, and maybe all the other immigrants that came here. So this has been a country of people coming here from abroad. It's also been a country of a perpetual striving to perfect the principles in the Constitution that were laid out. So we're still on this journey. We haven't reached our point where we have a more perfect union. We're still on this journey, and we'll always be on this journey because it's a journey that we're taking as a young country. But we came here initially from another place. So that's how we got here. What principles do we particularly need to pay attention to now in this difficult period that we find ourselves in? Temperance. Again, temperance in tarot usually means finding some kind of balance, some kind of moderation. We need to be more moderate in our approach to things. Americans tend to be extreme. We tend to be excitable. We tend to jump into things very quickly, very quick to assert our independence. So this is saying that we need to find a more balanced approach here. So our Constitution also has checks and balances. We need to also understand the structure of balance that exists in our governmental structure that's set out by our founding fathers. So not one area doesn't need to try to dominate another area. We need to all work together. And that's the basic assumption in the Constitution, that everything balances each other out. Let me just look and see in the Black Book if this Temperance card tells us a little bit about the goddess that's shown here. So it's talking about, not really. So that's our take on that one. So the situation we're in, how did we get here? What particular principles in the Constitution do we need to pay attention to? How can we move forward as a society from this difficult situation that we're finding ourselves in? Five of Chalices. So the Five of Chalices here, he's carrying a cow through the water. The Five of Chalices, the Five of Cups, usually talks about focusing on what we've lost, focusing on something negative. But we actually still have 3 cups upright. You can see these 2 are bent down. So we have a burden we're carrying, and we don't stop carrying it. We're carrying it all the time. Something's always on our back. We feel we need to be carrying this burden. So what we need to do is start looking at positive things that we've accomplished as a society or a country, and not focus here on what we've lost or what our differences are, or how it's so difficult for us to get together. We need to focus on what we have, the strengths we have in our country. It's also emotional because these are cups. So perhaps people are disappointed in what they feel is happening in society or with government. And they're focusing on that rather than the opportunities or the things that we could do to make us happier, all of us happier in this society. So there's a lot of focus on negative expectations, emotional loss, feeling we've been hard done by, rather than what we can offer each other. Even in its emotional support, we're wading through water carrying this cow on our back. So it's a long trudge when you keep carrying the same burden here. So let's turn around and look at what we can do to make ourselves happier in this society and happier with each other. So what can we do individually in our lives to help change the situation, bring us back to a more united country? Judgment. We can start looking at the consequences of our actions and taking responsibility for them. This mummy here is being prepared to go to the other side by this priest. But it's believed in Egyptian mythology that he's taking all his possessions with him for the next life. But he's also preparing himself to be judged. I think the soul was judged against a feather. So we have to look at ourselves individually and see what part we're playing in the situation. What have we done or not done to help strengthen our democracy, strengthen our society? Have we voted? Have we taken part in anything? Have we taken any responsibility for our own lives, or just blame the government for everything? At a certain point, we're going to come to that point of no return, and we're going to have to look at ourselves. We have people in our country who are just fomenting dissent and fomenting violence and fomenting division. And they will have to take account of this before judgment when they're judged. Karma is going to meet up with everybody. We're all equal once we cross that Rubicon. We all are going to be judged. We all have a part to play, and we're all equal under the law in this country. Nobody escapes death. Nobody is going to escape judgment. So we have to take the time we're in to make things better and to not foment situations that are going to cause harm to the greater good. We have to use our better judgment here and not be swayed by emotional arguments, or we also have to weigh things up. Judgment is also about using your discernment, deciding what's true and what's not true, and what's real and what's not real, and what's beneficial and what's not beneficial, and make a judgment to the people about the people who are leading us. So we have a huge responsibility ourselves. There's no use just blaming other people or other parties or the government or anyone else. If we don't take our part as citizens, nothing's going to change. And that's the gift that we were given with our Constitution. So what are the trends for the near future? How are things going to go for the near future for this country? King of Pentacles. Well, the King of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles is a king who takes care of the needs and well-being of his subjects. We don't have a king. We have a government, we have a president, we have a Congress. So there has to be some kind of responsibility for financial affairs put in order. Our financial affairs have to be put in order. We have to find a way of grounding ourselves and looking at the needs of our everyday needs, what we need as people, what the society needs. We have to pay attention to that, to our health, to our well-being, to living in this earth in a harmonious way, not going off on crazy ideas. We have to be responsible for the environment and the world around us. So we have to be good stewards. We have to be good, even though we left England to get away from being subjects. We have to be citizens now and take responsibility for our business, our society, each other, the earth. So we need to step up and be mature rulers. We need mature rulers. We need our rulers to mature and not engage in childish antics. We need solid, mature rulers who can do practical and worthwhile things for the country. We also need a straightforward interpretation of what the country needs. Financially, we need to get our house in order. We need to have a balanced budget. We need to look at how we're funding things, what needs funding, how we're wasting money. So we have to be good, resourceful, and we need our rulers, or the people who are in our Congress and in our government, to be honest and reliable. So the King of Pentacles is a mature, reliable government. We need that. We need to not indulge dramatics. We need to have our feet on the ground and march forward in a very practical, grounded, centered way. So what is the question was, how do our founding fathers see what's going on in our republic at the moment, our democracy at the moment? So the last question is, what's their final advice? What's their final vision for how we can save the Union? Whoa, this is a warning. We have to be very careful about not letting the tower fall. We have to strengthen our institutions. We have to strengthen our foundations because we're in danger of the tower falling, the tower being the structure of society, our democracy, all the things, all the principles we've built our society on are threatened right now. We have to prop them up. You see, they're trying to hold us up because it's falling, it's cracking. We have to be these people here. So this is a warning from our founding fathers. This is their advice. This is what they're seeing. We have to prop up our democracy. We have to stop it from failing because it's in very big danger of being destroyed here. This is the second major arcana. The two major arcanas were the first one when we asked about the situation we're in, and then the last one is about what the advice is, how to change the situation we're in. Well, unless we start working on it, we're not going to be able to save it. It's in danger. So that was a very interesting reading. We have 3 major arcanas. So we have to have an inner strength. We have to go back to the strength of our Constitution, the strength of what our founding fathers set forth, without violence, without aggression. We have to find our inner strength as a country again. We have to find our balance, the balance in our government, our system of checks and balances. We have to back off from these extreme positions that have been established. Because if we don't, we're in a real danger here of this tower, this government, this democracy falling. So the little people, you and I, we have to really work hard to make sure that doesn't happen. One person's pushing it, but 2 people have to be on the other side pushing back. Very interesting. So those are the major arcanas. Then we have that we got here as a country because we had many people who came here from other places, and that our democracy is a work in progress. We are always moving forward, but the boat can go backwards or it can sink. So we have to carry on with our journey forward. We have to get away from carrying the cow on our back, our holy cow, our big issues. And we have to look at how we can improve things. We have to stop focusing on the negative here. Oh, we had judgment too, which was in a major, that we're all going to be held accountable if our democracy falls. So let's put that in here with these. There we go. We're all accountable. We're going to create the karma that we receive. So those are the 4. So 4 major out of 7 is a pretty hefty message. And we need strong leaders, strong government that deal with real situations, that have their feet on the ground, that are looking at our everyday problems and how to make the nation stronger. We have to look at our financial situation, how we're feeding people and clothing people and meeting the needs of the populace here. So that's a very interesting reading. I think it's a good reminder always that, we're still in this work in progress. We still have a long way to go before we achieve this more perfect union. But that it's up to you and I and all of us to take responsibility and do the work in our own little spheres, and to join in others to push against the people who are trying to destroy our democracy. So thank you for listening. Something to think about. Once again, these were the Tarot Nefertari. They're published by Lo Scarabeo. It's one of 3 decks that I have that are beautiful golden decks. So tomorrow we'll ask another question and use another one of these tarot blings. So thank you for listening. If you like, please like and subscribe. I will put my email address in the comment box, in the information box below. If you do want a personal reading, you can contact me there. So I'm going to use my feather here just to clean this energy, clear the space, and to send some of this to you so that you can think more about it. It's up to all of us. Our founding fathers are counting on us, and I thank their spirit for being with us while we ask these questions. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back with you soon.